sun, you could have stayed. It's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Boom.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Today is November 16, 2022. It is 1:05 a.m. I had some tweets to share with you on my list, which I did during the day. And when I turned on my computer, I added more. And I have a total of 25 tweets. But 20 of them are about Archetypes, the recent podcast. And 5 of them are about spare and air. Okay. Oh, and 1 of them is prayer. All right. So there's a possibility I might turn this into maybe 2 or 3 videos, because it's a lot, depending on what I say. I have no idea what I'm gonna say. All right. So this is my back end. Yesterday, I put something on my community board regarding this, whatever's on top of here. All right. And I had it on my laptop screen, whatever I was gonna post on my community board. And it's a long conversation, a long response to it, or should I say a long caption about it. And I thought about it when I was about to turn off my laptop. I took it down, whatever caption that I wrote, I copy it, paste it someplace else, and I said when I'm ready to post it, I'll post it. Then instead I went on to put something else in terms of the caption, but the same image. But I don't know why YouTube keep on sending me questionnaire. I really don't understand. I'm not gonna respond to it because I feel like they want to know more about me. Why do you want to know more about me instead of focusing on my channel? I try to be as honest as I can with the thing that I share. Look at this. You guys gave me a warning, like a strike warning about something I did 2 years ago. Why wasn't it even reported a year or the day or yeah, pretty much the day that I uploaded, because when I upload something that has copyright, you guys let me know about it. But this one was about a couple years ago. But I'm trying not to make a big deal out of everything that I see going on my channel. I used to complain to you guys, and it seems like on your end that you don't see anything wrong. So I don't complain anymore. I just do what I have to do. And then when you guys say something about a video, this is why I wait until you okay my videos. If they're not okay, I don't make them live. Okay, I don't make them public. And this is why some of my viewers tend to say, oh, this topic is old news or whatever. When it comes to YouTube, nothing is old. Sometimes there's videos you're watching 12 years ago. All right, and you sit down and watch it because the information or whatever topic of conversation on that video, whether or not this interests you, you sit down and watch it. So I don't mind. I'm not in a rush to make things public. And then when you look at my estimate, my revenue, all right, at the beginning, I would say November 5th or 6th. I don't remember what it was when I started. But there were some, after the payment period, recycle, start over again, it was 700 something. Okay, and then it went up to 850 at one point. If I remember, by the time I finish this video, if I renew, okay, renew this page, it's gonna go back to all the way to 700. So I don't know what's going on. I don't complain about it. I just let it be. You guys do whatever. I don't know. All right, so let's go to Twitter. I added so much, I'm probably gonna have so many videos. So let's go on Twitter and see what's going on. All right, regarding Archetype. So I didn't post the caption that I said originally, so I just left it alone. And maybe another time I'll revisit what I said and then put it again. All right, this is the first tweet. This is Joe Diva. Yesterday on my video, for some reason Joe Diva was mute on my end, which I know I didn't do, so I unmuted. Now I'm seeing her thing again. All right, they tried to shut us down because they wanted her isolated, weak and defenseless. However, when she was silenced, we filled in the gap. That's true. When she was defenseless, we fought back with words and receipt. When she was isolated, we displayed global support. We stay woke. Wow, I love that. And this is what happened. I'm not trying to say that based on my channel, because I support her, like, you know, I was all into Meghan's business, or I was following her way before. I don't want to take claim of that, because this is what I saw when I was you know, talking about Johnny Depp. So when I go into conversation with on Twitter regarding Johnny Depp, some of his supporters were coming out. Oh, not to me. I was reading some of the comments where people, you know, trying to see the wrong that was going on and try to show support for Johnny Depp. A lot of women were supporting Johnny Depp, okay, like myself. So I was reading some comment and some of his supporters that were fighting the battle way before, and I think I saw it also on with Britney Spears as well. And, you know, taking authority. I've been there whenever, supporting him, this and that. I was like, you know what? I don't want to see those comments, because all I saw was something that was wrong, and I wanted to speak up. You guys, you want to fight the battle yourself. I'm glad he won his case, and he's moving on with his life. That was the main point for me, and I moved back. You don't see me showing much about Johnny Depp anymore. So when it comes to Meghan, you see the wrong that was happening. Okay, like I was saying, what I've said in some of my old videos, when I you know, I saw Meghan marry into the royal family. I knew the royal family existed. I knew Meghan existed, but I never really followed them like crazy. So when you see something nice happening, you're happy for her. But each time I check in, it's not every day I read articles about her, but you know, you see something popped up on your screen, you're like, oh, let me see how my girl is doing. Okay, it's always negative. Another time you check again, it's negative. And then you started questioning yourself, wait a second, she's been doing so much stuff, you know, been acting, she's been in the public eyes for so long, you never hear anything negative about her. So why all of a sudden when she's in the royal family and I'm reading negative stuff? It's becoming consistent. That's when I started looking deeper into stuff. And then I went to the long history, educating myself about the royal family and seeing all of the stuff. And I'm like, wait a second, what's wrong with the tabloid? I even created a video about the tabloid. Okay, so I had to educate myself. And this is what I see here with Joanne tweet here. Okay, however, when she was silenced, we fill in the gap. When she was defenseless, we fought back with words and receipt. When she was isolated, we display global support. This is very, very powerful with Jodiva. All right, there's more. Squad is responding. Yep, we stay woke for our girl. All right, so brilliantly said. I'm proud to be woke. If it means a woman who fight for justice to be heard, right for all, and compassion for those in need. Love being woke. Yeah, and then the thing is that when you hear on TV, on social media, when the mainstream media is saying the word woke, they make it seem like it's a bad thing. And I had to really, this is just recent. All right, what, maybe a year or so ago. All right, I keep on hearing the word woke, and from when it comes to the mainstream media, they make it seem like it's a bad thing. But I was like, wait a second, woke, being awake. You know, I didn't even bother looking it up to see what the term, because English is not my primary language. Sometimes I have to look up the words to make sure why they make it seem so bad. So the way that I interpret it each time I'm hearing mainstream media talking about the word woke, and I was saying, wait a second, when you awake, all right, I use the word awake, you have to be alert. You know what's going on. You're conscious about things that's happening. So why are they saying the word woke is bad? And then I start plugging things again because things that I've looked up doing the videos about Meghan, knowing about the tabloid, and I started realizing they're making it seem bad for me to be somewhat silent. Okay, so they want to control the media for you to be asleep pretty much, and then let them run the world. That's pretty much that. Okay, agreed. There's that. Hallelujah. Okay, well-behaved women seldom make history. We will be here for her. We are going nowhere. For Harry and Meghan, our Queen, Archie, and Little Beth, we will be here. Okay, we also fought back and showed support with our pocketbook. That is true. Kensington Palace and British press weren't ready for the sheer power behind the Sussex squad. That's for damn sure. We are global and we are vicious. Miss Wooten still get the vapors when our name is brought up. So I've heard. All right, let it be known. There's that. Okay, so there's some emojis and stuff like that. GIF. Let's go to the next tweet. Yep. And they're getting, the Sussex squad are getting more people into our circle because they still at it. The British press still at it the same way. They're not trying to change. They're not trying to become better of themselves, but they stay in their blueprint and still bashing her whenever chance that they get. All right, next tweet. So this is one of the tweets that I added while before I started the podcast. This is V. What a powerful episode of Archetype. This woman is dialed in. Yeah, there's that. So many things came into mind as I was listening to the podcast. Many things that she said, and I think of myself when I was doing my podcast, things that I've said. And I remember at one point, at the beginning of my channel, some of the things that I discussed. For some of you who've been with me back then, 200. I always go back to that 200. I bring in different topics, of conversation and things like that. And sometimes when I read the comment, people were saying, oh, they're not about that, they're just about Meghan. And I was like, you can't be about Meghan not talking about some of the stuff that I raised up. Okay, me who wasn't even following Meghan since, you know, let's say the TIG, when she was on suit and all of that. You cannot follow Meghan not to be about almost everything else, because the topic of conversation around her makes you talk about many different things. Go back to some of my old videos, look at the comment section. Okay, people were saying, oh, they're not about this, they're just about Meghan. And then when it comes to politics, when I saw YouTube was being on my back, on my case really hard, and I thought they were gonna shut me down. Okay, so what I did, I create a backup channel and I talk about different things, politics, whatever that I saw, the Andrew things. You go over there, you'll see almost everything about Andrew that was going on, that I was aware of. So you cannot be Meghan follower to not be about a little bit of everything, because that's pretty much, that's the topic of conversation around her. Even if she try, okay, I don't know Meghan personally, but you could sense, even if she tried to avoid certain topics, but the people who's bashing her are bringing the topic within her circle. You cannot deny it unless you're not paying attention about Meghan. Or maybe it was just a hater who commented and said don't talk about certain things. But you cannot be a Meghan's fan to not discuss many other things. Right, there's this. Yep, I swear it just get better and better. Love it. Yeah, this episode was very powerful, very powerful. All right, next tweet. Okay, today's Archetype episode has left me absolutely speechless. I cry my eyes out because of how empowering that conversation with Shore Agodashlo, okay, was. Absolutely stunning episode. And the other thing, what I liked about that, I think she just brought in a whole bunch of other people, this podcast in particular. If some Iranian women were not about some of the conversation that she spoke about, but the things that going in Iran, it's a very powerful thing. And the message that she left at the end, where her guest left in what's the language? Farsi. I think that's the word, Farsi. I'm surprised I remember Farsi. And I thought that was very powerful, because when injustice is happening to anyone, it's not good for the country as a whole. I knew about it. I didn't really discuss too much about it on my podcast. There's a lot of things that they're sharing on Twitter, and this is why they're trying to shut Twitter down, because the people, the establishment, people who's in power, okay, see when we discuss certain things, it's not good for them. They don't want people to know the nonsense that they're doing. The thing about people who's against, who's how do you call this? Who's protesting, those young girls, women, and all of that. Okay, they sentencing them to death. And not too long ago, they hung 3 men. I didn't share it because if I spoke about it, I'll have to show the picture, and if I do show the picture, I probably will have to blur it. All right, they hung 3 men. I think it was Iran. I could be wrong with the country, but I think it was Iran. All right, so many things going on. So what happened when you kill all women? What's gonna happen? Just think, basic math. And it happened in India already, where all they want, you know, when they're having children, when they're raising family, they only want boys. So what happened when you get rid of all those young women? There's gonna be a shortage of women, and how are you gonna reproduce? Okay, so they pretty much extinct. Okay, men love to rule. Who are they gonna rule when they cannot reproduce? Okay, those young women wants to be free. Okay, let me not say my own opinion into that, because they know what they're fighting for. Okay, when people put their lives at stake for their freedom, okay, they don't give a shit anymore. So if you get rid of them, so how are you gonna reproduce? Okay, every neighboring country have to be careful with their women with you guys, because at some point you're gonna need to reproduce. Killing, sentencing those young activists to death is pretty much your extinction. All right, both of you, you know what, let me not go into that part. Okay, it's powerful, probably the most thoughtful, provocating. I will listen again and again till the next. Yeah, it's very powerful. Okay, and I think this is one of the reasons, you know, that guy is messing up Twitter. Okay, because people are talking, not just because of a podcast. There's so many conversations, different groups on Twitter that's discussing different things. This is the thing, they don't want people to discuss topics, that things that's going on. Okay, and this is the power with many Generation Z. They spoke up, they discuss things, and they're on social media. They are good on social media. All right, next tweet. And I think in one point, what is it? At some point, and I think what needs to happen to young people, create a platform for themselves, young people around the world. Okay, let those old people extinct. All right, discuss things together and be involved. Don't just sit back and talk among yourselves, but how you want your future to be, and at the same time be involved with the current, okay, topic of conversation in terms of politics and all of that. Run for office, just like that young Generation Z who won in Florida. Be part of the conversation, and at the same time, okay, talk to your current generation and the generation after you. Okay, while you there, change what's happening now, because those old people, they don't want change to happen. And sometimes when I think about it, when you look at people in politics right now, the governor in Florida, what's his name? Okay, he just won his re-election. He's around my age. Okay, over my age. You would have thought, okay, someone around my age will be a little bit more progressive, well-minded, but no, he's carrying on his, probably his father's, mother's, his, you know, generation before him kind of mindset. All right, so things needs to change for the better. All right, let's read some of the this is the next tweet. Anyone else had to take several breaks during this episode, had to catch my breath many times. This episode is fire. I don't know how or if next week episode is even going to tap that. Yeah, this one was very good. I would have assumed, okay, this one would have been the last one, you know, will be put for the last episode, because that's how powerful it was. You know, when you hear young activists, people talking, well, her guest, the Iranian lady, I forgot her name, since the 70s, she was protesting when she was in Iran. And then this is what's happening now. Okay, when people don't talk, the thing continue. Those idiots stays in power, oppressing and taking more. It's not like they're giving you something different. Yes, they are giving you something different, but something different to their benefit. But they keep taking away from you a little bit more. And now look at this, what they're trying to do. Pretty much extinct. All right, kill those young activists. All right, their nonsense. I don't understand their mindset. I really don't understand their mindset. When in fact, you know, each one of us have an expiration date. If they let us be who we are, okay, and contribute some of our good qualities to society, but no, they want to shut everything down. They want a straight line, follow this protocol, bam, bam, bam. Same thing that's happening in the UK, but in a different form. And then you have these people trying to do the same thing, but they are in power. They're literally forcing women to be the way that they want women to be, straight, you know, follow certain protocol and all of that. This is freaking crazy. As long, you know, you're not interfering with somebody else's life, okay, you should be able to live your life freely. But these people, they literally are into women's lives. My God, I don't know if I make sense with what I just said, but that's what I was thinking. Okay, I love this episode so much, tearing me up and making me laugh at the same time. is there another episode? Thought today was the last one. For some reason, I had in my head there was only 10 episodes total. Wait, only 10? Who do I need to kidnap from Spotify cast to give us more episode? Okay, me, I'm getting goosebumps. Maybe could it be like I was saying before? It seems like the discussion that was being discussed, it seemed like it's something that should be left for the last one. Okay, leave people hanging, knowing that okay, the next season when it comes is gonna be as powerful as that. Okay, me, I'm getting goosebumps. I didn't want this episode to be over. Almost all of her episode is so much to be discussed. Okay, I'm going to listen to it again with my parents later after dinner for emotional support. Wow, how emotional were you? One of the things that I got is that people can contribute in many ways. Maybe protesting is not your thing. Not everybody wants to be around a group of people. It may not be that. It could be financial support. Okay, some people who's already doing the work, you okay with them, you're glad they doing it, you're giving them their support. There's some like me doing the podcast, highlighting certain things that I see. That's another way. So each one of you, as long you're not adding to it, that's the thing here. You not adding to the injustice that's happening to some other group. In my humble opinion, some people maybe may not agree with me. Okay, you not adding to someone else's pain, it's another way of I think it's another way of supporting. And also to speak up, to say the injustice. Okay, what you see someone is doing that's bad to another, it's not right. You speak up. All right, so each one of us have a way of contributing. I just don't add to it. Just don't add to it. All right, I've kept listening over and over the magnetic voice and awesome strength of Shove Agadoshulo. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. It's just so enveloping. I just need to hear more of her life experience. And Jamali Jamal, open honestly, was extremely uplifting. Archetype with Meghan. Yeah, both of them. Two very powerful women in their own right, in their own respective thing. And you know what's really funny with her? Where she said when she did her IG account it took a life of its own. It's almost like this podcast, this YouTube channel. But the one thing I knew I wanted to do with this channel was politics. But the kind of politics that I want to discuss, I wasn't seeing that much of it, and I wanted to put a spin to it. But it took a life of its own when I encountered the injustice that was going on with Meghan. So there, it took a life of its own. Right, haven't had the time today. There was a passing in the family. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll save it for after I vote on Saturday. Or Q. Okay, so that, what country is that? Okay, Fernandez, Bezan Hussey. So that's probably another country. Sorry about the loss of your loved one. My condolences. Also, I will recommend finding somewhere to sit before listening. I had to stop the treadmill and sit on the floor once a Showe interview started. Wow. When Jameela said we can't even give women the benefit of the doubt because we spent it all on men. That's another thing. Okay, LOL. That part got my mom side-eyeing my dad and he immediately gave her a hug. My parents loved that segment. Okay, it was so good. I love that she is creating space for this thoughtful conversation long overdue. And the thing is that the things that she does in the background supporting women, when she saw the tabloid or mainstream media or whatever the injustice that's happening, she took her time to do it privately and reach out. And that made me realize one of the things that I saw when she was in school, that young lady who kept her letter, who that Meghan wrote to her as a form of support, and she kept it. It's almost the same thing that I saw happen with when she contacted one of her guests for emotional support and stuff like that. And yeah, Meghan is one of a kind. Okay, one of the best episode yet for me. So good. Okay, I did pee a lot. Okay, Okay, let me finish it. Yes, I loved it. Had a few tears. Both Jameela and Chauvet spoke so articulately and passionately. Jamela's voice is right up there with Meghan's. Great to listen to. Also, all the beeps for the swearing. Love it. And talking about Iran, just wow. It was an amazing episode. Okay, I had to listen again. It was empowering. In order for me to I will have to like play it and discuss it with you. I don't know if it will be right for me to do that, like do a review, because each time they say certain things popped up in my mind when I was listening to it. A lot of the things that I've said on this channel came to mind as I was listening to it. Right, so one of the squads will have to bring it up for me to remember which part I thought of certain things. All right, next week. I'm really glad that they left in the part where Jameela explained why she stood up for Meghan. Okay, it really explained why so many of us, strangers from all over the world, were moved to fight for her. We could see what was being done to her. Archetype with Meghan, Sussex squad. That's true. Okay, I love Jameela so much for this. The only other person who fight for Meghan fearlessly without whataboutism is Shola. That is true. That is true. Yes, yes, yes. Dr. Shola came into my periphery because of the squad. I never knew she existed. Alright, high profile black and brown Brits need to shout louder about the brazen misogynoir. Exactly my thoughts, and I thought of all the people in the squad from all over the world who stood up for her and pushed back against the smear campaign. So squaddies, this part, thank you for fighting back, was also for all of us. Alright, 13 seconds. Okay, let's see here.
Shows how afraid they are of you, and I think and I hope and I feel faith that tides are changing because so many of us are fighting back.
That's right.
Well, thank you for fighting back.
That is true. That is true. That is true. And the thing is that we already see their pattern, their blueprint, and we squaddies have already understood or predict. It's not like we have a crystal ball in our hand, because they kept at it the same way. Okay, we usually predict some of the nonsense that they will be spreading, and then when it comes, we shut it down. This is why they don't like the squad. Okay, many of us, I don't have a freaking I can predict the future. You could see from some of all of my old videos, I went way back to educate myself about them, and then the more that I learn from them, and I'm seeing it, repeating it over again, and I'm sharing them my thought, and you will assume that I know the future or something like that. Some of the squaddies will say, oh my god, it's like you knew. Do you have a crystal ball or something? And I was like, if I did have the crystal ball, the first thing I will do maybe every week is buy lottery. Okay, if I knew the future. But these people keep at it, and you see YouTube is asking me question about myself. Why the hell do you want question about myself? Why will I tell you things about myself? This is my channel. Okay, you do your thing, you monitor my thing, you flag me when I do something, and then I fix it. This is what YouTube jobs to do. Okay, my job is put out content the way that I see fit, whatever discussion that I'm doing, as long I don't break your rules. Okay, don't ask personal things about me. You don't need to know about me. Okay, I went a little bit off here. Okay, Haka does it to herself, and everyone knows that. Some gaslighting. There's the haters coming in into our thing. Black. The next tweet. That's all they could say. That's all they could say, because they know. I go back to America. She is back in America talking about things. Freedom of speech. She didn't even mention your freaking tabloid name. She didn't even mention you guys. She mind her own business, speak her experience, the injustice that's happening, but yet you are in her fan page conversation. Okay, you guys need to focus on your kings and your future heirs doing their BS. Go, stay away from her. As long as you don't talk about her, we don't talk about you guys. All right, next tweet. Princess Meghan, quote, and I kept doing the work for women and girls because it matters. Yes, and the collective voice of all of us telling each other that matters is perhaps the point. There's safety in numbers, but there's also strength in numbers. That is true. That is true. There's safety in numbers, but there's also strength in numbers. That's right. I was doing something with my son the other day where they told what was the thing? Oh, we were trying to figure out the main idea. One of the thing, okay, I'm paraphrasing that whatever he was reading. All right, a father told a son to break a bunch of sticks that were tied together, and then both of the father's son, you know, couldn't break it, and then the father told them to take one of the sticks out and cut it or break it. All right, they were able to do it, and they told the main thing was, what was the main idea? Okay, the strength in numbers. That was the main idea, strength in numbers. And this is why they try to isolate her. This is why they try to isolate her. By herself, you know, anyone who is by themselves, they're usually weak, but together as a group is strong. That's it. Yes. Okay, wonder if it was Hillary Clinton. Okay, there's oh, exactly. And silent, one can feel all alone. There it is. But once they hear others speaking out against disparaging injustice or collective resounding response, and innumerable women hearing other women speaking out against disparaging injustice is long overdue, and the time is right. Like I said, I don't know which one is gonna come out first, because YouTube usually withheld some of my videos. I said it. This is why, and a lot of time I delete a lot of things. This is why they're trying to mess up Twitter. Twitter is like the hub, the place where people come and talk. Certain groups come and talk to each other, so they don't like that. Next tweet. Okay, I'm already 35 minutes. All right, there it is. Jameela just unveiled the truth about Harry and Meghan's relationship. They have the dynamics of friendship, care, support, and fun. Everyone who have spent time with Harry and Meghan in person said exactly the same thing about them. Yep. And Harry knew what he was looking for. All right. Oh, so there's not that much comment. Let's read it. Okay, they are each other's best friend and confidant. The other brother can't boast of friendship. All right, Harry's wife, Archetype with Meghan. There's the heart. Yep, this is why Baldy hates Meghan. He never wanted Harry's marriage life to be better than his. That's exactly that. My goodness. But yet he's not trying to be better himself. That's the thing. He wants to remain who he is, the way that he is, and want everybody else to accept him the way that he is. He's not trying to change. In a situation like that, sometimes you need to look back, look at yourself, your behavior. How can you change to be better? I don't know. But anyway, even if he had a woman like Meghan, I don't think he will appreciate her. All right, because he always get what he wants. All right, they train him at a young age to whatever he wants, he gets. There's no pushback. So no matter what woman he has, okay, it will always be the same, because if a woman have a voice of their own and say, no, I'm not gonna do that, or I'm not gonna do this, whatever it may be, there's a problem there. But instead, it's compromising. In a relationship, it's compromising. All right, give and take. All right, never forget that this was the prediction at the beginning of 2022. For every bad juju the haters send Harry and Meghan's way, the Sussex success grows bigger and bigger. Excellence always prevails. Harry and Meghan. Okay, so there's screenshot. We see it. Meghan Markle's heartbreak. Spotify allegedly regrets closing deal with Sussexes. I think I comment on that. Okay, royal family news. Prince Harry and Meghan's Spotify deal failing, cancellation coming. Oh my God, these people. Okay, news. Harry and Meghan under pressure over Spotify deal as clock ticking. They're making headlines where if Harry or Meghan was in need of money, could sue them for defamation every time they will win. Alright, I don't know why they're putting themselves in that position. Alright, so where's my comment? Oh, it's not even there. Where's my comment? This is why sometimes I like to save my comment. The thing that I said was that at this point, maybe it was another tweet, at this point Meghan has the platform where if she has any issues with any other, you know, let's say Spotify or any platform that don't want to show her work, she could create one herself, and then you'll see how much many people is gonna flock over? Similar to what Oprah did, create a network for herself and then display her work. But because this takes so much time, and it will take away from some of the work that she really passionate about, so it's really hard to run a network, this kind of thing. But if she decided to do that, she could, and people will flock over because of the quality, okay, the brand of the Sussexes. Even if, I'm pretty sure if they decided to create a certain brand, they will definitely not put Sussex in it. And this was one of the reasons when squaddies were starting to recognize my channel. They're, oh, you should put Sussex somewhere on your name, that way Squad School will know who you are. And I was like, I'm not about just the Sussexes. After pressuring, and I say, okay, I'm gonna keep the main as is, let me just put Team Sussex at the end. So if they decided to create either some sort their own social media platform where they monitor it, they cater to it, you know, throw anybody out as they wish, okay, they will create their own, people will flock over. All right, let's see here. And I did say that at one point a while back, maybe 2 years ago, where I said, you know, they should create their own social media platform where they could have their own conversation. And I think I brought Alexis Ohania to be the one to create it for them, because he had created Reddit, and I thought that would have been something that they could do to have their own conversation there, their own platform. All right, they live in fantasy land. All right, should really be clowning these fantasies. Can't call them journalists, but so much raining makes me forget. All right, that's Angela Levine's parody thing. All right, wishful thinking. There was an article recently, good review of the podcast first episode, but the writer framed the article around this nonsense. Yep, wishing doesn't make it happen. All right, I can't even LOL. UK media is always wrong, always. The poor people of UK believe the rubbish offered to them as news. It's such a travesty. Okay, I don't buy the tabloid or magazine either now. It's all crap. Alright, every step of the way, Harry and Meghan proved them wrong. It started with they aren't dating. Absolutely 100. Sussex success. I am here for it. There's a laugh. That's all they left with. Wishing for bad things for Meghan. Alright, lies. Yep, and it does. Okay, and Spotify responded by calling the podcast groundbreaking. Okay, that was epic response. Love it. Yeah. And then the thing is that I've said this in one of my podcasts, is that they didn't even what do you call this, like advertise for it. They just drop it and then the squad took over. All right, what's going on now? Copy. Okay, I thought something happened. All right, next tweet. Okay, Archetypes with Meghan. Okay, Jameela post. Okay, so that's probably from IG maybe. Okay, I am on Meghan podcast Archetypes on Spotify this week, and I did not hold back about misogyny that seeps through our media into our society and is weaponized to silence, distract, and destroy rebellious and powerful women. From the moment I first called the British media out for racism and misogyny regarding their treatment of Meghan, I had a target on my back. Suddenly, I was being harassed and maligned online. My family were being stalked. What? Very interesting. Wow. Suddenly, I was being harassed and maligned online. My family were being stalked by tabloid journalists for dirt on me, and I had to deal with constant lies and smear campaigns to discredit me in every way as a human being. For years, they can't kill, threaten women anymore. Wow. And it's the same thing that they do with charities that Harry and Meghan support. And that also brings to mind that charity that the Archwell gave money to. Is it Meghan or Harry? Was Archwell was already established? I don't think so at that time. All right, they stay quiet. It was after the fact. Okay, you're not at the height of the moment, when things is really, at the height of the moment, the fire, the hate, that's going on. That's when people speak up, like when Dr. Shola speak up in the middle of the height of the moment. This is where it really, really matter. to know that you really care about the person who is being, injustice is happening to. All right, so they just killed their credibility now, and sadly this was done not just by men but by far mostly by middle-class white women. All right, it was a maddening time and really sickening and scary to see how the media works to dismantle whistleblowing humans and narratives. I was being terrorized into silence and submission. Wow, I didn't know that. Well, she did say some stuff on the podcast, but I didn't back down. I will never back down. I regret nothing. And it's the same thing when I saw things happening on my channel. I was not breaking their rules, but I saw some weird stuff happening and I took it out and I said, I'm not about the money. We all need money. I can never stress that enough. We all need money. Okay, but when you believe on some of the things you are discussing, it's not about the money anymore. Okay, let's see here. I said it on the podcast and I say it again now. I am not here to be liked, believed, or understood. I am here to be me, to push myself to be better according to my standard at my pace that I chose for myself, not the BS impossible standard the patriarchy has brainwashed men and women into thinking we are supposed to live up to. Wow, this is very powerful. All right, this was an amazing podcast today. How is it that they just keep getting better and better? Had there not been hiatus for the Queen's passing, this would have been aired just before the US election. That is true. That is true. That is very true. I keep asking myself the same thing. They get better every week. You know what they could have done actually? They could have switched that around. They could have switched that around, put that before the, well, they already said it. Let me not get into the schedule thing. Okay, thank you for speaking your mind wholeheartedly. Jameela, Jamal, you did fantastic, amazingly powerful. Girl, you tell them. Well done, Jamal. We are proud of you, Meghan, and all the other fantastic women who are fighting for us all. Yeah. Not everybody wants to be at the front, doing the fighting. When you see someone who's in line with some of your qualities and who don't mind being there, is to support them. Be the anchor for them. All right, so to let them know we got your back. All right, next tweet, quote, it's just an unfathomable amount of shit that you take, Meghan. I can't believe it. That demonization just shows how afraid they are of you. That is true. That's another quote also that caught my attention when she said that. You see all the BS that they went around. Okay, perfect example. I've been talking about it. Even on my last podcast, I spoke about it. They want to take the title away from Harry. Okay, why don't they just do it? They're afraid. They are afraid to just take it. What did they do? All right, send all the other royals to do their nonsense. Okay, now on my last podcast, the next step that he did was to send some letter of patent or whatever they call that term. All right, some letter to what do they call this? House of Lord or something? Is that what they call it? All right, those people who make laws. All right, House of Lord, to add more. What is it? Council of State. All right, to add more to what is it? Was it Edward and someone else? Two other people he wanted to add. All right, what I said about this is where they want to bring the conversation up of removing titles. Okay, what I feel like they did here is another example. For Charles could give example and say, you see, I wasn't the one who did that. He is afraid to be pointing fingers at that he was the one who removed the title, when in fact nobody really gave a shit. All you had to do is do it. So he sent that letter of patent. Why will you need 7 people to speak on your behalf? 7 people. So when the people he sent the letter to said, no, you can't have all these people, you have to remove some of them. So now he will say, okay, Harry will be removed. Okay, and now, or maybe Beatrice will be removed as well. Okay, and then now he could say the conversation could be, okay, working royals only. So remove titles. The conversation of removing title will start from that point on. This is the next step here. I've said this. Okay, it didn't happen yet. The only thing that happened is the fact that he sent that letter of something to one of those elected officials to add more council of state on, you know, when, and the reason that he gave, he says something about when he flies or overseas, when he's overseas, so someone could speak on his behalf, some BS. Okay, at this point he wants to do everything. Why do you have to fly overseas? Okay, you should assign this to a working royal. This is why the queen was that good. She doesn't need to fly everywhere, even though she was at an old age. Okay, she points different things to different people to do for her. She doesn't have to do it. And this is the same thing he should have learned from his mother. Thing that his mom did. One of the working royal flew or fly for him, take care of business, and he just direct, and those people report back to him. That's all. Why does he have to fly where he will need someone to speak on his behalf when he's not in the country? You don't need to fly. Certain things, maybe certain really important things, yes, but minor thing, you don't need to fly. Well, why you need an extra person? How important are you? You're not even doing anything that meaningful. Okay, but anyway, I went off a little bit. Let's read some of the comments. Okay, it's not that much, so I'll read everything. Okay, listen to the full episode here. I think they are afraid that Meghan's example will motivate other women to also go their own way without all rigid patriarchal systems and to rebel against this system. OMG, Jameela said it. I love this woman. Jameela is always real. I never really follow her. I only come across her on that podcast. Alright, tell it like it is. Thank you, Jameela. Best podcast ever. Bring it on, Duchess Meghan. They see Meghan as the modern Anne Boleyn, which is the church and King Henry flying monkey we're afraid of. You know, she could turn it all around and be the hero of the world, just expose the Yorks. Okay, decades of not only sex crime but financial crimes. If she's the beacon of kindness and honesty, why weren't she and Harry busted wide open? Well, guess what? They have the... Okay, why don't you do it? Okay, if you're bringing this up, why don't you do it? They have to be comfortable of what they're talking about. Like, for instance, one of her guests said, she started talking about something that she wasn't too familiar with. Okay, and then, you know, she learned from it. And Harry and Meghan are talking about things that they are comfortable with, where any question they throw at them, they could answer it and they could support it. So if you feel this is something that they should talk about, why not you? Why not you? It doesn't have to be Meghan. You know, let me not even go in that. Okay, there's only one comment here. Okay, how much of your uncle's private life do you know? How much of your partner's uncle's private life before you met your partner do you know? Get the F out of here. Harry and Meghan are responsible for their own lives, not investigating potential crimes of his uncle. Thank you. There's that. That says it all pretty much. She was there for a few seconds. All she wanted to do, she said it. Focus on things she's passionate about.
She's beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth. I think it's just the beginning of a...
There's a lot to do.
Really?
There's a lot to do.
She didn't have time to dig into those people's nonsense. They knew what the royal family knew, the nonsense they have. They probably didn't want her to be aware of it, and that's why they tried to isolate her. And then she left. They told her to go. She leave. Alright, next tweet. At the height of the hate campaign against Meghan by the royal family and UK tabloid, where it got so bad that she contemplated suicide, those who publicly stood up for her were also attacked. It was done to shut down anyone else from standing up for her. Everything is coming out here. Okay, things that she said way before at the Oprah interview, and then now things that Princess Diana have said, all coming to play because they're still playing the same blueprint. Unfortunately, I said the word play. Alright, it's not a game when you're doing things like that to other human beings, but for them they see it as a game, because it's not them who's the receiving end of their BS. Real human lives is being affected by their BS. For them it's a game, so we need to do pushback. All right. I'm on Meghan's podcast this week. In it, I dissect and criticize the tabloid media treatment of women, and so expect a few days ahead of the tabloid media jumping up my ass. See, she knows the blueprint. Alright, that's the thing. Here, I don't hold back at all on this episode. It's important for women to be allowed to call out the way they are treated. Alright, my relationship with the tabloid media was fine until the day I stood up for her. Wow. Alright, I didn't know her at all, beyond a very polite 1-minute phone call once, when she introduced herself to the cover stars of British Vogue and let us know she was the secret editor of our issue. But I knew, oh, I'm learning more about her, but I knew it wasn't right for any young woman to be on the receiving end of such a rampant and hateful public campaign. I was one of the first public figures to call it out as racism and misogyny in British media, and was put through hell for years after. I was being punished for not quietly looking the other way. Oh, there's the other thing that crossed my mind when she said that. Now it's coming to me again. When she was saying that, you know what crossed my mind? What happened to, what's the other queen? The crown princess of Denmark. Okay, I said it. All right, when they wanted the Queen of Denmark to do the nonsense she did to her, grandkids and stuff like that, this is what crossed my mind. All right, they want to use certain people as example. The uninvite. I called it out the minute I saw it, and this is the same tactic here. It crossed my mind during the podcast. Thank God I read this, because I was gonna stop. I thought it was the same thing that I read earlier, but it's different. Okay, it crossed my mind during the podcast. The invite and uninvite that happened to the crown princess of Denmark. Okay, and I said they use Meghan as an example what they could do to them. Okay, using the media as a powerful force, as a weapon.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option. When I lost my mum 23 years ago, you took me under your wing. You looked out for me for so long, but the media is a powerful force.
Okay, to attack them, to pick dirt about them and force her to do it. And this is why I said, I don't really believe she really wanted to do that. It was by threat or pushback, and then because she didn't want the tabloid to go dig up nonsense about her family, she forcefully did it. And I still believe that, and this also make me believe, make me think of that again. All right, let's finish with that. I was one of the first public figures to call it out as racism and misogyny in British media, and was put through hell for years after. I was being punished for not quietly looking the other way as a woman of color, was publicly savage. I don't regret it. I will never regret it. It's nice to get to know the woman behind all those horrific headlines now, and I see I was right to defend her. She is effing gem and an inspiration to so many for refusing to give up and disappear despite some media figures' best effort. We need more of that energy in this world. Here is the woman fighting back. That is very well put. Very well put. I like that. And this is what pretty much stopped me on my track. When I keep on reading the headline, I was like, even though I didn't know her, I was like, what? Meghan is that? But she's been in the media for so long. How come I didn't hear all of this nonsense? All right, so that's that. All right, I understand Prince Harry's anger and disgust when he said no one in his family defended Meghan against UK tabloid. Imagine his shame when it was strangers who defended Meghan. These people cannot be trusted anymore, and I understand why he decided to make a life away from them. Yep, this is so true. Love when Jamal said that. They attack anyone that stand up for Meghan, even squaddies. Yeah, I mean, I saw stuff going on with my channel. I was like, and this is why sometimes I thank God a lot for made me realize, okay, when I reached that 200, I think he knew what was going to happen with my channel. I've said it so many times. If you are new, I'm gonna repeat it for some of the old, my old subscribers. When I reached 200, there was a time where it took me almost a month for that 200 to stuck. Because each time it reached 200, it goes back down. At least 10 people unsubscribe and this, and I'm like, what's going on? Each time I feel so happy that it reached 200, I was so happy. The time when it finally reached 200 and it stays there for like a month, and I was so happy about it. I even created a video. I think it's down because copyright and all of that. I had to take it down to be accepted into the monetization program. Okay, I titled it "Moving Up." Okay, moving on up with the Jefferson theme song. I was so happy about it, and I show all the stuff, images of the background of the numbers of subscribers. This time it keeps on going up, going up. Something happened to me at that moment when it stays, and it kept on going up. The subscribers keep on growing. Something happened to me where I felt like now my podcast should be so much better. I should script it. I should write this. I should do this. Focus on that. And then after I record that specific podcast, after whatever that was going on in my head at that time, and I was listening to myself, okay, listening to myself, editing it, and I was like, wait a second, that's not me. That's not me at all. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I guess it's God getting into me to say, you know, do your own thing. Don't be that particular podcast or whatever it may be. I don't know. I took the whole day off, maybe a day or two, just to gather myself what I want this channel to be. All right. Now that people were coming and recognizing me or supporting me, they sometimes they disagree. There was one long conversation. I felt like I was being interrogated by that particular comment, and this person said they are an educator, why this and why that, and I was having a decent conversation with that person in the comment section. I don't know which video it wasn't. And I was like, let's focus on the squaddies who's not on Twitter. Just read the tweets, and then whatever comes to mind, just say it. And that's how I've been running that podcast ever since. So that's that. How did I get to this? I don't know. Exactly. They went for all her friends. They wanted to isolate her from friend and family. That is how they destroy you, particularly women and that family. The Crown is a documentary. Okay, where did Jamal write this? She hasn't posted anything on Twitter since last October. IG. Okay, so was that the same thing? If I felt like when I was reading it here, it's different from the previous one. Okay, and specific members of the royal family are supposed to be advocates of mental health well-being. I've said that before. When they're talking about mental health and all of that, all I do is put the link of the shout, which I spoke about. I think it wasn't Newsweek. What was it? One of the article that spoke about them disclosing people's conversation on that special hotline, whoever's going to some issues to call in. They give those private conversation to a for-profit company, and I'm like, what the hell? All right, if Jamal was brave enough to stand up against them and keep standing in spite of it all, then you can't. I agree with her, but at the same time, you can't force people to stand up for something if they're not about certain thing. She did her part, and then she will continue to do her part as she see fit. You can't direct people to do something, because if she does get in trouble, she's on her own. She has to defend herself now. Well, she could only stand for the part that she believes in and how she see it fit. She did her part already, and hey, all right, this archetype with Meghan was absolutely amazing. Real women standing up for women. Archetype with Meghan. Archetype, okay, listening. Jameela, Shure, Ada Shulu, two incredible women plus Lamagzi. Okay, I can't read. Lisa Tetrol, women supporting women. All right, call the media out for who they are and how they try to destroy women. Only Only when you speak up is when you will see change. That's why different language. This need a massive retweet. Right? Just like all of us who barely know Meghan but can just sit back quietly to watch the media tear this woman apart. It's about standing up against something that is plainly wrong. It is that simple, and it warms my heart to see that we are not alone in that fight. Yeah, pretty much all the squad. This is why I always give credit where credit is due with Tina and Michelle. They were there, and then when I come into the Sussex squad, was so upset about it. It's them who really brought me back to Twitter. I knew when I need certain information where exactly to go for it, but I never bothered going into Twitter. So my account was just sitting there, okay, collecting dust. And then when I realized there's a fight going on that needs to be, that needs to be dealt with, I went on Twitter. I didn't even remember my password. I didn't even know how to navigate around Twitter. I had to look it up. Okay, I had to look it up. Okay, just like, okay, I just read that. Yes, we did, and we will continue to defend this amazing woman, Duchess Meghan, Archie, and Lily, mom, Prince Harry's wife, and soulmate. Okay, this was an incredible episode. Jamal spoke so candidly about how this is a business campaign to tear women down, to tear Meghan down. Love that she stood up for her. Okay, must read. The same has and is being done to silence all people of conscience who stand and speak against the terrorizing of Palestinian people, especially the children and older folks. We must use our freedom of speech to speak out against tyranny, racism, and brutality one to the other. Okay, great episode. I love the inspiring voice of powerful women. Thanks, Meghan, for giving the true meaning of word woke, not the redefined version through around trying to demonize it. Yep, it's like when your parents try to use a word with no idea what it even means and sound ridiculous. Okay, a lot of people have done that. Okay, I've never understood how British media accept a bunch of Germans as the epitome of English royalty, yet have gone to such depth to decimate a woman of color. Okay, 99% of that is true. Okay, this is hidden by original tweet. Okay, I thought it was me who muted it because that's how I found out. I muted Joe Diva on my last podcast. Let's do a prayer. I have more. I'm going to create another video because I'm exactly an hour and 6 minutes. Prayer for, I don't know, let's do, let the blind see. Okay, let the blind see. More people need to see the truth. All right, in the name of Jesus, I pray that they will be able to see clearly, to recognize who you are, and to give their hearts to you. Remove all hindrances the enemy will use to distract them from your truth. Open their eyes, Lord, that they might see Jesus. All right, let's see an image. I don't think there's much images. I think I've done this before. Let's do this one, the last one here. Prayer for happiness, shine, and darkness prayer. Okay, let's stick with that. God of mercy, my world is cast over in the darkness. A cloud follows me every day of my life so that I stumble and fall in blindness. I am overrun with fear and sadness. Send your spirit to shine in the darkness. Be as a beacon in my life and draw me unto yourself. Conform us to your image that we might also become light in the darkness. In your Son, Jesus, amen. All right, so that's it. So please take a moment. Let me refresh that. It's $806.21. Let's see if it goes back to 700 something, because it's been happening all week. All right, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. You could donate, and Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that was that. I haven't seen much people, those who were saying about the they will donate on Cash App. I haven't seen anything. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one because I'm gonna record right after that.
Nothing but the future left for you until we build up
for me, it's an added member of the family. It's another team player as part of the bigger team. And you know, for all of us, all we want to do is be able to carry out the right engagements, carry out our work, and try and encourage others and the younger generation to be able to see the world in the correct sense, rather than perhaps having a distorted view.